Hi, welcome to Gabi J Pilates. Today I'll be taking you through a 20-minute full body reformer workout where no equipment is required. We're going to start on a red, blue, yellow spring and have a lay down on our backs. We're going to bring your heels on hip width apart to the foot bar and we're going to come into a round of bridges. So let's start by drawing your belly button into your spine, tuck your tailbone, and let's take your hips all the way up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in at the top and exhale as we peel your spine back down. Chest in, ribs in, scoop that belly down, and tailbone touches last. Good, tuck your tailbone, squeeze through those glutes and drive your hips all the way up to start again. As we go through this, just taking it nice and slow, trying to lengthen through that spine. And also think about your knees coming up and over that foot bar as you come in, finding length through the front of your body. For a little bit more, you can take your fingertips up to the ceiling, or you can keep using your hands to help stabilize you. Good, let's start to speed it up a little bit now. Let's drive the hips to the top and then drop that tailbone straight back down. Lift, lower. Think about your heels pulling in towards your tailbone, trying to keep that carriage still at the stopper. In 5, we're going to hold at the top. In 3, 2, 1, let's lift up, hold here. Pull that carriage in, lift your hips a little bit higher. Good, we're going to drop your hips halfway down, all the way up. Halfway down, all the way to the top. Good work. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lower back down. Good, we're going to add on a little bit more to your next round. So still taking your hips all the way up, hold here. We're going to open your knees out at the top, come back to hip width, and then lower the hips back down. So we drive the hips up, we hold, keeping that pelvis up. We're rotating the knees out, coming back to hip width, and then dropping down again. Good, lift up, open, close, lower. Good, we're going to hold up in 3, 2, and 1. Lift up, hold just those knees. Let's turn them out as wide as you can and then try to tap your knees together. Open, close, open, close. Lift those hips a little bit higher again. We're almost there. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, dropping down. Hug your knees into your chest and just go for a little rock from side to side. We're going to start to work into your hamstrings a little bit more. So still starting with your bridges here. Let's take your hips all the way up to the ceiling, hold. From here, we're going to open that carriage out. We're going to press it away. Keep your hips lifted. We pull the carriage back in and then we lower the hips down. Good, so drive the hips to the ceiling, hold. Straighten your legs out. And then think about your knees driving up and over that foot bar as you pull the carriage back in, lower down. Good, lift, press the carriage away, pull it in, drop down. We're going to meet in your high bridge in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come into your high bridge. Let's just press that carriage out. Pull it straight back in. Keep those hips lifted. Let's go out, in, in. Good. Using your hamstrings to pull that carriage back in. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that carriage in. Drop your hips down. Take a little rock of your knees from side to side here. We're going to continue with the legs. We're going to come into some side lying glute work. We're going to stay on these same springs, red, blue, yellow. If it's a little bit strong, you can drop that yellow down, or if you're wanting a heavier workout through those glutes, go for 2 reds and a yellow. You can take out your black shoulder block to use as a pillow and so it doesn't stick into your back, or you can grab a Pilates ball and pop it underneath your ear. I'm going to roll onto my left side and start with my right foot on the foot bar. We're going to go toes and heel on, finding that connection, and we want your knee to stay up at hip height. From here, we're going to press that carriage all the way out and then bring your carriage back in. Let's straighten out through that right leg and bring the carriage in. Good, so finding that connection with your full foot here, and start to feel those right glutes warming up. So we just want to watch that that right knee doesn't drop down. We want to keep it up at around hip height. Good, we're going to hold that carriage in halfway in 3, 2, 1. Hold that carriage still and let's just pulse up and down. Good, just little movements, not quite all the way out, not quite all the way in. Here for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press that carriage out, hold here. Let's lift your heel off the foot bar, coming onto your toes, and again, bringing that carriage in and pressing all the way back out. Beautiful. Think about that ankle staying nice and long through the front, keeping that heel lifted, and also maintaining that knee at around hip height. We're starting to get a little bit stronger through the quads here. Still feel those glutes working as well. Let's hold halfway in 3, 2, 1. Pulsing up and down. Find that lift of the heel, nice and long through the ankle. And just moving that carriage. Here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press that carriage all the way out. Hold here. Press your heel back onto the foot bar and let's rotate your toes and knee up to the ceiling. So finding that external rotation, we bring that carriage back in and we press all the way back out. Think about that knee pointed up towards the ceiling as you come in, and then nice strong press through that heel as you go all the way back out. Good, thinking about those hips staying nicely stacked on top of each other, and keep finding just that little bit more rotation. Holding halfway in 3, 2, 1, doing well, just your pulses to finish off with. Up and down, make it just a little bit bigger. Last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Bring that carriage all the way in. Take that ball out or pop your shoulder block back in, rolling onto your back and just taking a glute stretch. Crossing that right ankle over your left knee. You can rock from side to side or just finding that stretch here for a second. And then we're going to hook your knees over the foot bar. Before we come to the other side, we're just going to come into some core work here. You might want to shuffle yourself slightly out of those shoulder blocks. Bring your fingertips to the ceiling. And let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And on your exhale, we're going to bring your chin to your chest. Think ribs to pelvis as we roll yourself up as high as you can. Good, hold here. And then tucking that tailbone, drawing your belly button in and peeling yourself back down. So think like your bridges as you articulate that spine up and down. And to start off with, you can use your legs on that foot bar as much as you like. For more of a challenge, you can start to bring one leg into tabletop. Or if you're feeling strong through the core today, you can bring that second leg off as well. Good, using that exhale to bring yourself up. Maybe hold for an inhale at the top and exhale as you roll yourself back down. Good, we're going to come for a hold at the top in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing yourself up. Let's roll back about halfway. Tuck your tailbone. Think ribs to pelvis, belly button to spine. Can you bring one leg off the foot bar? Can you bring a second leg? Good. Let's start to lift those arms up and down. Think about your ribs pulling down more to your pelvis as those arms come overhead. Good. Deep breaths. Here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one. Good job, rolling down. Let's come onto your second side of glutes here. So you can take that shoulder block out again or grab your ball, rolling over, and this time your left foot is going to come up onto that foot bar. Let's bring toes and heel on, knee at hip height, and then start to press that carriage all the way out, coming all the way back in. So just keeping that carriage moving smoothly up and down the rails, starting to warm up through that left side. Good, making sure not to drop that knee down. And keeping that foot connected. Let's hold halfway in 3, 2, 1. Carriage stay still, and then we come into those pulses, up and down. Not quite all the way out, not quite all the way in. Good, here for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press that carriage all the way out onto your toes now, lifting that left heel off the foot bar and then bringing that carriage in and out. You want to keep that length through the front of your ankle, so working to keep your heel lifted up nice and high. And again, try not to drop that knee down below hip height. A little bit stronger through the quads on this one, still working into your glutes as well. Coming into your pulses in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding here and pulsing up and down. Can we lift that heel up a little bit higher? Maybe rotate that knee slightly towards the ceiling. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pressing all the way out. Drop that heel back onto the foot bar. Rotate your toes and knee up to the ceiling. And last part here, bringing that carriage in and out again. Finding that external rotation of your knee to the ceiling whilst keeping those hips nicely stacked. Good, deep breaths, almost there. Can you rotate that knee up slightly more? Coming into those pulses in another 3, 2, 1. Hold still and pulsing on the spot here, up and down. Knee to the ceiling, pressing through that heel. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, bringing that in. Rolling onto your back, popping that shoulder block back in or ball off to the side. Cross that left ankle over your right knee and just go for a little rock from side to side. Good, from here we're going to come on up. We're going to kneel on your carriage facing forward and we're going to drop these springs down. I'm going to come onto one blue spring. Option to come onto a lighter spring or add them both together for an advanced option. We're coming into some shoulder work. So I'm going to start with my left loop. I'm going to take both hands forward, palms facing down. Take a nice deep breath in, and on your exhale, we're going to start to bring that left elbow back, opening out to that left side. Hold here for a moment, and then it's a strong press forward towards your foot bar. Good, so we're bringing that left elbow back, finding that rotation through the upper body, and then it's a strong press back to the front. We're dropping those elbows down slightly if this is a little bit too strong through your neck and shoulders. Or option to come down low onto your heels to make it lighter again. Good, let's just go for 3, 2, and 1 coming in. Both hands are going to clasp onto that left loop now. Starting down at your left hip, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to rotate your hand around to the front and come into that little bit of a higher point. Good. We're going to slowly come back down to that left hip. And then exhale as we twist that body and we lift up. Good. Lower down and reach around. Let's just go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Good job. All right, coming onto that right side now, just those 2 variations again. Reaching your hands out in front, palms face down towards the ground. This time we take that right elbow back, turn and look to the right side, opening out your chest. And then using that nice big exhale as we press your hand forward. Good, drive that elbow back, open up through the chest, and then pressing forward again. Option to come back onto that low kneel if that gets heavy, or even just lowering those elbows slightly. Good, let's go for another 3, 2, and 1, coming down. Both hands clasp on here, starting down at your right hip. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale as we rotate those arms around to the front. Good, inhale as we lower, exhale to rotate. Good, think about engaging through your core, even squeezing your glutes to help support your lower body here. Let's just go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping that loop back down. Good. From here, let's bring your hands onto the foot bar, stepping your feet into the middle of the carriage, and we're going to come on up into your knee tucks. So this is your full version. If you like, you can drop down onto your knees and do a very similar thing. But if you can, try bringing your hips up, and we're going to send that carriage all the way out to a plank, and then bend your knees to bring it back in. Good, working to keep those shoulders over your wrists, over that foot bars for more support. And then think about your pelvis trying to connect to your ribs as you tuck those knees in. So we're still on your 1 blue spring here. If you do want more of a challenge, you can drop down to that 1 yellow. Let's keep going for another 10 seconds here. We're going to press out for that hold in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press that carriage out, find your plank hold. Nice and strong here. Maybe press a little bit further away from that foot bar. Deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. Bring your carriage in. Same again, but twisting your knees over to the left side. We're coming into your oblique knee tucks here. Working to keep those hips lifted up. Think about the right side of your obliques working here to help keep that lift. And we're just bending the knees in and pressing back out to that plank. Upper body still nice and square with that foot bar, and knees are turning out. Twisting over to that right side, same again. This time working through the left obliques to help keep those hips lifted. Tucking in, pressing out. Coming through center on your next one, holding here for a plank. Holding nice and strong, weight here for another 3, 2, 1. Bring that carriage all the way back in. Let's drop down onto your knees. We're going to work into a little bit of upper body here, coming onto a red or a red-yellow for a bit heavier. Feet are going to come into your shoulder blocks, hands are shoulder width apart on your foot bar. Let's press your knees away, holding in a half plank, and then pressing that carriage open and pulling back in. Straight arms as we press away, thinking about that chest coming up and over that foot bar to come in. On your next one, let's take that carriage out. Let's hold it here. Nice and strong through that upper body, keeping that tailbone tucked. 3, 2, 1. Let's bring that carriage all the way back in. From here, we're going to add a bit of a push up. We're going to bend through those elbows, hold, press that carriage out, and straight arms to come back in. Bend through the elbows, press away, and then pulling that chest up and over. Maintaining this half plank the whole time, so lower body is not moving. Last one, bring it all the way in. Let's reverse back the other way. So straight arms to go out, then we're going to bend those elbows in, chest comes low, press up. Straight arms to go out, nice and low into that push up to come in, and nice strong press away. Think wide through the elbows, open through the collarbones, and the further you press out, the lower you're going to bring yourself in. Last one here. We're going to stay low and we're just going to send that carriage away, bend the elbows to come in. Press straight back out. Good. Last little bit of hard work here, doing really well. Beautiful. Deep breaths. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that carriage in, shake it out. Let's come into a stretch. We're going to step that right foot forward, take that carriage out, sink down into a bit of a stretch for your hip flexors, down into your quads. You can start to take that carriage out a little bit, straighten through your front leg. Maybe pull your toes towards your shin, stretch through the calves, the hamstrings. Beautiful, bringing that carriage in, right foot goes back, left foot comes forward. Same again, press that carriage away, drop your hips forward. You can come onto your forearms, get a little bit deeper into that stretch. Maybe rock in and out. And then just straightening out through that left leg again. One side might feel completely different to the other one. Just working within that range. Maybe pulling your toes towards your shin, getting that stretch come all the way up the back of your leg. And then bringing that carriage in. And you are all done. Thanks for joining me for your full body 20-minute reformer.